Will these shoes make your injury-free runner? Today we're going to find out in the Nike React Infinity Run Flyknit. Hey, what's poppin'? Jordan Thomas. Welcome to 2020. I hope it's off to a great start. Let's jump right into the review. First thing that comes to mind when I put on these shoes is lightweight cushioning. Listen, these joints are comfy. It feels like a warm hug from like your mama, your auntie, somebody that you just love and care about. It's not too tight. It just feels real good when you put it on. And I think a lot of that has to do with the 23% more foam that they added into the shoe. As I'm increasing my mileage, and I spend a great deal of time on asphalt, concrete, just the streets in general, maybe some dirt here and there, I wanted a shoe that was going to be able to withstand all those different types of surfaces, but not feel too clunky. When we talk about a wide base, this is definitely a wider shoe. Nike got it right with this one in terms of so many of Nike's shoes are narrow. And for someone that has a narrow foot, I haven't been able to enjoy this for a long time, but finally, for those in the running community that have a bit wider of a shoe, this is the shoe that I would recommend for you. The other nice thing about this overall base, and I think this is where you get into the question of runners who run into injuries, see what I did there? When it comes to your overall like foot mechanics, this shoe is going to do a great job for those of us that maybe land on the outsides. I know I did for a long time and slightly do today. Or those that tend to land on the inside, hence Sumpinate versus Pronate. This shoe does a great job of evening that out, and so you have a much more stable type of overall platform. Speaking of stability, one of the things that I feel like Nike got right was that a lot of stability shoes look crazy. They look clunky, they not cool. And so this allows an opportunity now for those of us that have some stability issues to stay within the Nike family and get the support that they need. But it's construction that really kind of hugs like from the middle of your foot along the base of it all the way down and through the heel. And because it sits on the outside of the shoe as opposed to the inside, I feel like it gives you a little bit more room to kind of play around with. And so that's going to help you stay on the right path, literally. Next thing that comes to mind is responsive. Because of the overall rocker construction, which essentially has the toes area somewhat pointing up, which helps kind of help you put your foot in a bit more of a dorsiflexion type position, it's going to allow you for the most efficient type of form possible, which means you're going to still feel good running at 12 per mile pace all the way down to 6:20 pace. Now, I only slightly pushed it past that, doing some strides. And because of just all the foam in this shoe, I would not use this for runs much faster than that. Next, the grippy bottom. Also, just a big fan of things that grip, allow me to kind of claw at the ground a little bit, because I don't ever plan on going much faster than what I just mentioned before, like the 6:20-ish type pace and like a tempo type effort. It's less critical in this shoe for me, but the fact that it's there is dope. Also, when it comes to like weather, for the handful of times that it rains in Los Angeles, I feel like I could still take these shoes out and get what I need. A couple of things that this shoe does not have that I just want you to be aware of, or at least my experience with them. One, lockdown type feel. And now, so I think it's like a combination of Flyknit, the fact that the shoe feels kind of wide, and also, I don't want to blame the foam for this, but just because of that combination of things, I feel like my foot never feels like locked in, like I'm ready to like go run a mile in them, I'll say, right? I personally can live with that though, because for me, these shoes are meant for my easier runs. And so I don't need to feel like I'm in a fit of aggression every time I put on a shoe. Like, I get it. It's all about the grind and the grit and all this other stuff. Listen, the average run for me is me waking up at 6 a.m. and I'm just happy to be alive and outside running. So I'm not thinking about being champion of the universe every day. And so when I wake up from one of these easier runs, having a shoe that puts a smile on my face is more important to me than a lockdown type feel. The price is gonna be hard to justify for some people, I gotta be honest. Coming in at $160, there's certainly a number of other brands, even other shoes available in the Nike product line that might work better for some people's budgets. Now, what I will say is this, however, is that if you're looking at training for say like a half marathon or even a 10K, and only want to just have like one shoe where you can do both of those things in it, I would say for a person that's just starting out running, I could recommend this shoe for you with full confidence, because you're going to be able to run the range of paces that I just mentioned and one of my earlier observations, as well as you're going to be in a good position to run with good form. The other thing is that for a person that only plans on running, 500 miles in a year or something like that, these shoes are gonna work for you, because you're just gonna be able to get so much out of them without them breaking down like so many other shoes do early on in the overall mileage count. Now, there are three groups of people that I would recommend this shoe highly. Number one, it's going to be the group that I just mentioned. People who are just starting out running and want to have a shoe that they can do pretty much all of their runs in and potentially race in. The second would be those of us that actually do have some issues when it comes to being injury prone, and it's the tools that have lent themselves. Maybe you've been using the wrong type of shoe. Maybe it's that you actually do have some form correction things that you need to work on, and you didn't want to wear a shoe that made you feel like an oddball in wearing them. Then these are going to be there. And then the third, this is the camp that I fit into, is just you want a high mileage shoe, but you don't want necessarily be as serious as like a Vomero or a Zoom Structure. And I'm gonna be honest, like the Zoom Structures have zero swag. I'm sorry, Galen and Rupp. I know you love them. They have zero swag. So those are gonna be the things to me that stood out about the show. I'd love to hear from you. I'm gonna be spending a lot of time in them. Let me know your questions. Hey, if you and also if you're in the comments, you've got answers to the questions, feel free to jump in there. I want this to be a whole thing. And if you found this helpful and you want to know about the shoes that I race in, check out this other review where I talk about the Next Percent and why I use them for pretty much all of my races for 2019. And I'll see you next time. Jordan Thomas, peace.